Smith County detectives make another arrest in a deadly nightclub shooting that left one man dead. We'll tell you who was arrested and what it could mean for the investigation. And protests and questions in Minneapolis after a deadly encounter involving ICE agents. The latest on the investigation. Plus, a surprise moment in the Robb Elementary trial sparks outrage. Victims of families speak out, and a judge raises serious concern. We'll explain what happened in the courtroom.
We got some pretty gusty winds with a chance for a few showers. We'll talk more about it coming up in your forecast. So stay right there because Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus starts right now.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Y'all on CBS 19 Plus.
Questions mount this morning after an ICE agent shot and killed a Minneapolis woman yesterday. Federal officials call it self-defense, but state and local leaders strongly disagree. Protests are breaking out across the country. We have the latest developments coming up next. Well, good morning, y'all. Thanks for staying with us on CBS 19 Plus. I'm Ayana Aird. Glad you're with us and glad to be waking up early with everyone out there watching. Let's head right on over to meteorologist Joe Robinson. Joe, today is a weather impact alert day. One of the main concerns is the strong winds expected through this morning and afternoon.
Yes, that is exactly right. Yeah, we do have a wind advisory that is now in effect as of 7 o'clock this morning. That will go until 4 p.m. this afternoon for some of us. Not all of us, but some of us will have that chance to see some at least 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts, so a pretty gusty day into this afternoon, especially if you are in a higher profile vehicle traveling west or east. The winds are going to be coming in from the south. That's going to cause some issues for you as you're heading out, so definitely make sure to slow down and also tie down some loose objects that might be able to blow around very easily. Now, the wind advisories are in effect for Smith County, Gregg County, Upshur County, Wood County, and counties further to the north, also including areas like Mount Pleasant until 4 o'clock this afternoon. Current winds at the moment sustained around 10 to 15 miles per hour. Those will start to increase through the rest of this morning between 15 and 20 miles per hour. And again, gusting up to about 40 miles per hour. 68 degrees up to near 70 for some of us this afternoon or this morning. And for this afternoon, upper 70s to near 80 will be a possibility once again. We got more to talk about as far as the rain chances go. Stick around for your latest forecast. Ayana.
All right, thanks, Joel. We're expecting to learn more later today after a second suspect was arrested in connection with the deadly shooting at a Smith County nightclub. The Smith County Sheriff's Office identified the second suspect as 20-year-old Jaquaylin Pettigrew of Tyler. He's in the Smith County Jail on bonds totaling $900,000. The shooting happened December 28th at the Valley Blues Club just north of Tyler. The Smith County Sheriff's Office arrested Pettigrew yesterday with help from multiple agencies, including DPS, the FBI, ATF, and Texas Parks and Wildlife. Aaron Lamar Jackson died at the hospital. 23-year-old Aaron Gordon Johnson Jr. of Tyler was the first suspect to be arrested in connection to the shooting. Sheriff Larry Smith says investigators believe there were multiple shooters and that the incident was gang-related. And the Texas Rangers are now investigating after a man accused of indecency with a child in Cass County is found dead just hours before his trial was set to begin. The Cass County District Attorney's Office says 44-year-old Christopher Glenn Smith of Naples died by suicide Tuesday night as law enforcement attempted to arrest him. Smith had been out on bond and wearing a GPS ankle monitor, but officials say he cut it off early Tuesday morning and fled. A warrant was issued after investigators determined he posed a danger to himself and the public. Multiple law enforcement agencies searched for Smith throughout the day, and authorities say as officers moved in near the Cornett Marietta area, Smith took his own life. Questions are growing this morning after a federal immigration agent shot and killed a woman during a traffic stop in Minneapolis yesterday. The Trump administration says the agents acted in self-defense as protests erupted and city leaders demand answers. ICE agents were in the neighborhood for an enforcement operation. Eyewitness video appears to show ICE agents surrounding a red SUV and trying to pull the driver from the vehicle. As the SUV starts to drive away, 3 shots are fired before it slams into a parked car.
It was an act of domestic terrorism. An officer of ours acted quickly and defensively shot to protect himself and the people around him.
Authorities identified the woman as 37-year-old Renee Nicole Good. Officials say she was a U.S. citizen and not a target of an ICE arrest. The shooting is now under investigation by the FBI and the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. In South Texas, U.S. Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem held a news conference yesterday about the deadly shooting involving an ICE agent in Minneapolis. Authorities say an ICE agent shot and killed the woman after she tried to run agents over. ICE agents were in the neighborhood for an enforcement operation, and residents were honking horns and blowing whistles. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem said agents were acting in self-defense after their vehicle was stuck in the snow.
ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car and to stop obstructing law enforcement, but she refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over.
Since the deadly shooting, a growing memorial of flowers and candles have been set up at the scene of the shooting. The trial for a former Uvalde CISD officer will continue this morning. The judge deciding to allow Adrian Gonzalez to face 29 criminal charges after some late drama in the first day of witness testimony. Amanda Henderson has been following this case for nearly 4 years and has been at the trial since it started. She joins us with how the judge came to this decision.
It only took Judge Sid Harrell about 10 minutes to decide to ultimately deny the motion for a mistrial that was put forward by the legal team of former Uvalde CISD police officer Adrian Gonzalez. Now, his defense team making an allegation that the state had not handed over all of the information they needed from a witness. Judge Sid Harrell repeatedly saying that the confusion was not an intentional act, but rather one that was, quote, at best a negligent one. Defense attorney Nicola Hood says they legally are required to file for a mistrial, but they are all right with the alternative that they ultimately came to an agreement on, which is continuing the cross-examination of the Robb Elementary teacher who was on the stand when all this confusion began. Court will be back in session here in a few hours at 9 a.m., and that's when the cross-examination is going to continue. Once it's done, Judge Sid Harrell is going to decide ultimately if he wants to throw out the testimony in this case. Of course, Gonzalez facing 29 criminal charges for his response to the Robb Elementary mass shooting in May 2022. In Nueces County, I'm Amanda Henderson. Back to you.
One East Texas family has faced unimaginable challenges since their 14-year-old daughter was diagnosed with a rare brain tumor more than a decade ago. CBS19's Robert De La Garza shows us how neighbors, friends, and local businesses are stepping up to support the family during their latest fight.
Every new year brings the same reminder for the Neptune family.
She was diagnosed actually today, 11 years ago, with craniopharyngioma.
A rare type of brain cancer Alexis has lived with since she was just 3 years old, and something her father Aaron says she's had to fight her entire life.
It's a cystic tumor that attaches to your pituitary gland, and she has been fighting that hard.
Since then, brain surgeries and repeated trips to the ER have piled up.
Pituitary gland doesn't work anymore, hypothalamus, thyroid, pretty much all of that's checked out. If she gets sick, stuff can go really wrong.
And over the weekend, just days away from that anniversary, something did go wrong.
Went to wake her up. She wouldn't wake up. She wouldn't respond to anything. And we called 911, and they sent an ambulance to come pick us up and took us to the local ER, where they almost immediately set up a life flight to get her to Dallas.
Where she's been, once again, in an ICU fighting for her life.
She's being kept alive by machines that are regulating her body temperature and her blood pressure, lots of meds.
Can you hear me, Lexi? That's a good girl. I'm taking.
Aaron and his wife Sarah own the Modern Texan, a furniture restoration company which they run out of their home in Tyler. But with Lexi's health at a standstill, so is their business and income.
I just want her okay. That's 1,000% where the energy focus is right now, is making sure that she can come back home. I would rather bring home my healthy child to, not having a home.
Now, other East Texas business owners are rallying behind the Neptune family, helping cover expenses so they can focus on what matters most. Lexi, nicknamed Giggles, known as the light of their lives even in the darkest moments, is faced with a hard but familiar battle.
Just hoping that they can keep her alive long enough to let her fight out of it.
A day not about looking back, but holding on and believing she still has more fight left to give. For CBS 19, I'm Robert De La Garza.
Well, if you'd like to help Alexis Neptune and her family during this difficult time, you can find ways to donate and show your support on our website at cbs19.tv. It's 7:11 now, and it's time for your morning headlines. Nick Reiner had his arraignment postponed yesterday after his high-profile criminal defense attorney, Alan Jackson, withdrew from the case. He's the son of the late film director Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Reiner. He's charged with 2 counts of first-degree murder and the stabbing deaths of his parents in their home in December. Reiner is now being represented by a public defender. And Secretary of State Marco Rubio will meet with Danish officials next week after the foreign ministers of Denmark and Greenland requested to speak as soon as possible. The request came one day after the Trump administration said officials are discussing a range of options for acquiring Greenland, including utilizing the U.S. military. European leaders warn the move could lead to the collapse of the NATO alliance. And U.S. job openings declined to a 14-month low in November. The latest Labor Department data shows employers posted 7.1 million jobs by the end of November, down from 7.4 million jobs the previous month. The report found that layoffs also decreased in November, further adding to what economists are calling a low-hire, low-fire job market. And there will be a little less traffic in outer space today. NASA has postponed a scheduled spacewalk due to a, quote, medical concern. Officials aren't sharing any more details about it right now. Astronauts Mike Finnke and Zena Cardman were set to step outside the International Space Station to finish work on a power channel. No word yet on when the spacewalk will be rescheduled. So Texas hit a record number of home sales for high-end property taxes this past year. New data from Texas Realtors shows a 12% increase in million-dollar home sales from November 2024 through October 2025. Texas Realtors say even though luxury homes make up a small share of the market, it shows Texans' confidence in the state's economy. And the Texas labor force is continuing to rise, setting new records. The latest data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows more than 15 million people made up the state's labor force. That's the highest in state's history. From November 2024 to November 2025, Texas gained more than 146,000 jobs, which outpaced the nation's average. And the state's unemployment rate was below the national average, coming in at 4.2%. Governor Greg Abbott said in a statement, Texas continues to provide opportunities for entrepreneurs and businesses to thrive in the state. Well, Governor Greg Abbott is now calling on state agencies to investigate potential child care funding fraud. The request comes in a letter he sent this week following a child care fraud scandal in Minnesota that has drawn national attention. Earl Sotomayor explains how the governor wants the issue addressed.
Governor Abbott is directing the Texas Workforce Commission and Health and Human Services Commission to examine any fraud or misuse of taxpayer dollars.
In the letter, Governor Abbott said Texas has an improper payment rate of less than 1% compared to Minnesota's 11%. Despite the low number, the governor still wants the commission to investigate. He is directing both the Workforce and Health and Human Services Commission to identify what they consider high-risk providers who participate in the Child Care Services Program, as well as perform additional site visits on those locations. No details were released on what would make a provider considered high risk. Current data collections with the Child Care Services Program will also need to undergo a review by the Workforce Commission. The governor is also requiring enhanced access to an online portal and hotline to report fraud to both organizations. Both groups will have to provide the progress report to Governor Abbott's office by the end of the month and the final report on their work at the end of February.
Stay connected to what's happening across the Lone Star State with Texas News Now. Your daily statewide newscast has the top headlines, the stories that matter, and weather from every corner of Texas. Catch Texas News Now streaming weekdays at 11 a.m. or anytime on demand only on CBS 19 Plus. Download the app for free on your smart TV. If you've been putting off dealing with an old ticket or a warrant in Longview, city leaders say now might be the time to get that taken care of and pay less in the process. Longview's warrant amnesty program is underway and runs through April 30th. The program is aimed at helping people clear outstanding Class C misdemeanor warrants. According to the city, anyone who can pay their full balance will have all warrant fees waived and receive a 20% discount on the fine. Even those who can pay only part of that, of what they still owe, can still have the warrant fees removed and set up a payment plan for the rest. Now, right now, the city says there are nearly 18,000 outstanding warrants, totaling more than $9 million, and some even date back to 2010. Anyone with questions over whether their case can be resolved can call the city clerk at 903-237-1186.
It's a relief to not have the stress of knowing, hey, if I get pulled over, and maybe I'm from out of town and I want to come through the city of Longview and maybe I'm just speeding a little bit, or I got a headlight out, I get pulled over, I might go to jail because of these warrants. Here's an opportunity, a great opportunity to take care of those and have that weight lifted and not have to worry about it.
Anyone with questions over whether their case can be resolved can call the city clerk at 903-237-1186. All right, y'all, clear some freezer space. Girl Scout cookie season is officially back. Scouts across the country are kicking off sales this week, bringing back fan favorites like Thin Mint, Samoas, and Tagalongs, along with the new Rocky Road-inspired cookie, Explore More's. Cookie season runs through the spring, and every box sold helps local troops fund activities and leadership programs. I definitely need some of those Thin Mints.
That sounds pretty good right now. Oh, yeah.
All right, well, life is full of lessons. Some learn the hard way. We often look back and wonder what we could have done differently, the choices we would change, or the risk we wish we would have taken. Today, we ask people to reflect on their own journeys and share the wisdom they've gained over the years. So we want to know what advice you would give your younger self.
Well, I would say I still kind of struggle with this sometimes, but I would say let yourself be bad at something at first because you will eventually grow. And if you keep if you set your mind to something, you will get better at something. So even if you're not good at something right away, don't be too hard on yourself. I get this way sometimes.
Yeah.
Let yourself improve over time. Just have a little bit of patience. Give yourself a little bit of grace.
You know what, Joe? That was great advice.
Thank you.
That was great.
Yeah.
I would say don't rush being an adult. Because I remember in high school,
that's a good one.
I would be so excited to graduate high school, to finish school. But who wants to rush bills?
Right, exactly. We don't realize that at the time because you're just thinking, I'm not old enough to do this and that. But also... comes, those responsibilities.
Don't rush that. That's not fun.
That's a good one. That's a very common one for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Joe, what is the traffic looking like out there on I-20?
Not too bad. Now, we are tracking some showers finally moving into the area, but overall road conditions not looking too bad. The drive times on I-20 still fairly normal. We got 2 hours over to Dallas, hour and 30 minutes over to Shreveport this morning. As we take a look at US 69, 2.5 hours up to Denison, hour and 30 minutes down south towards Lufkin. Other routes across the area, Jacksonville to Nacogdoches, 55 minutes. Tyler to Longview is 40 minutes. We have Tyler to Palestine at 55 minutes. And from Tyler to Athens, 45 minutes this morning. Now again, we are now starting to track some showers moving into parts of the area, mainly off to our west. We're going to continue to watch that as it moves into East Texas even further. Not anything too heavy, but some light showers that will cause maybe some slick spots on the roadways and reduce visibilities just a little bit. On top of that, pretty gusty winds for today out of the south, so certainly want to be careful of that. 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts are going to be possible. So yellow lights for you this morning. That'll start to wrap up by early this evening. Temperatures very warm in the upper 70s.
It's time for CBS 19 Sports. Well, hello and welcome to Sports. I'm Jimmy Sierfros. We're glad you are with us because we are absolutely loaded up on the hardwood, starting with the Kilgore College women looking to kick a 4-game losing streak last night against Western Gulf Collegiate. Spoiler alert, the Lady Rangers dominated largely because the Red Gale could not match up physically. How about this? Herbert converts inside. Kilgore with the drive here. Jasani Green sinks that mid-range. Then Green gets in the post. Great feed here on the doorstep. Easy 2. Later on, good pass from Kelsey Magnum. Nice cut there from Riley Hendrick on the receiving end. Back on the post now. Herbert feeds it perfectly over the top to Green for the lay-in. Sophomore just could not be stopped there last night. Bumps the defender. Easy bucket there. Still in the first. Different players. Same result. Zariah Edwards battling inside. Plus the harm. And one, baby. And how about this? Back-to-back and ones. Lady Rangers absolutely cooking. Rihanna fights and gets it to go. Kilgore up 24-8 in the first. Second, a lot of the same. Nice interior pass from Magnum as Cameron Beck joins the scoring party. Lady Rangers put the foot on the gas and did not let up. They take this one 89-37. Hey, back home in Tyler, TJC down 5-7 to Bossier Parish early, looking for a spark. They'll get it off the bench. Sagan Obe first on the alley-oop. How about that finish? Pick up from your teammates there, man. Not done yet, though. Next possession, Sabri Scott penetrates, dishes it to Obe again. Above the rim, two-hander. Then a cherry on top, Obe making it for himself. Pump fake, jab, dribble, easy money, 6-10. All of it goes towards this mini run. Puts the Apaches in the driver's seat in the first half. Riding that momentum, smooth drive in the finish. Yamari Alette through the defense glass, and that's good. He's got the layup package on lock. Let's see the three. Yep, that's good. The Canadian Canning is the corner three and the leaping over two defenders there. Hey, the Apaches on the run here. Steal from Caden Bell. Sends it to Chris Uweu, the junior. He didn't get a lot easier than that. TJC turns around. An early deficit goes into halftime up 44-30, eventually downing Bossier Parish by 20, 91-71. And if you think that's good basketball, wait till you see what they're got going down in White House. The 1978 White House Wildcats boys basketball team holds the best record in school history. But the 2026 girls are right on their tail.
The past 3 years I've been here, it's been mid-seasons, like 50-50 seasons, so not losing a game yet is crazy.
27 teams have tried to take them down. Every single one of them has failed. It's more wins than any other Wildcat girls basketball team in the last 20 years.
Hi, just a lot of hustle and heart and kids that do not want to lose, so it's a lot of fun to coach.
Not wanting to lose is one thing, not knowing how to lose is another, because most of this team really hasn't played much basketball.
We have two seniors, we have some important role players that are juniors, but then we have one sophomore that's playing, and then the rest are freshmen that are out there.
So to prep them for varsity ball all preseason, Coach Leggett focused on team bonding through what they called their Lady Cat Leadership Program.
And we would break down just kind of our goals, our expectations, and how our approach to competition, our approach to teamwork, our approach to just the locker room.
And getting our two seniors to buy in and lead, well, that was the easy part.
She's like my best friend, but when we need her to be a coach, she's a coach. She pushes us every day.
And through them, the standard is set for the younger girls, so this dominant run can go much deeper into the future than just 27 straight wins.
It feels great to know, when they're seniors, the freshmen right now, they're going to be probably better than us.
Hey, huge news yesterday. According to Texarkana Game Day, Pleasant Grove head coach Josh Gibson has told the school he will not return for a 13th season. Gibson turned the Hawks into a powerhouse in the past 12 seasons, leading them to three state championship appearances and 2 state titles. That's all I got for you. Morning, y'all.
We're about to step away for a moment while we break into our over-the-air broadcast with a news update. We'll be right back with more here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, y'all. Thanks for joining us for this news update. I'm Ayana Aird. We're expecting to learn more later today after a second suspect was arrested in connection with the deadly shooting at a Smith County nightclub. The Smith County Sheriff's Office identified the second suspect as 20-year-old Jaquaylin Pettigrew of Tyler. He's in the Smith County Jail on bonds totaling $900,000. The shooting happened December 28th at the Valley Blues Club just north of Tyler. The Smith County Sheriff's Office arrested Pettigrew yesterday with the help from multiple agencies, including DPS, the FBI, and ATF, and also Texas Parks and Wildlife. Aaron Lamar Jackson died at the hospital. 23-year-old Aaron Gordon Johnson Jr. of Tyler was the first suspect to be arrested in connection to the shooting. Sheriff Larry Smith says investigators believe there were multiple shooters and that the incident was gang-related. And one suspect remains on the run following a vehicle pursuit in Polk County. Deputies say the chase began Tuesday morning when a stolen vehicle from Harris County was spotted in the Onalaska area. When officers tried to stop the car, the driver took off. The vehicle was later found abandoned in the Wells Landing area. 3 suspects have been identified. 2 have been arrested. Brandon Dunaway, who was shortly arrested after the incident, and Christopher Brick was arrested yesterday. Delray Tolar is still on the run as authorities continue searching for him. And if you're putting off dealing with the old ticket or warrant in Longview, city leaders say now might be the time to take care of it and pay less in the process. Longview's warrant amnesty program is underway and runs through April 30th. The program is aimed at helping people clear outstanding Class C misdemeanor warrants. Now, according to the city, anyone who can pay their balance in full will have all warrant fees waived and receive a 20% discount on the fine. Even those who can pay only part of that can still have the warrant fees removed and set up a payment plan for the rest. Now, right now, the city says there are nearly 18,000 outstanding warrants totaling more than $9 million, and some even date back to 2010. Anyone with questions over whether their case can be resolved can call the city clerk at 903-237-1186. Now, let's get a look at your weather with meteorologist Joe Robinson.
Yeah, we're looking at a pretty gusty day heading into this afternoon. Weather impact alert in place from 7 a.m. this morning until 4 p.m. this afternoon, especially if you are in a higher profile vehicle moving east to west. Definitely could see some impacts. 35 to 40 mile per hour wind gusts are likely going to be a good possibility into this afternoon, so certainly make sure to slow down on your way out this morning and into this afternoon. We're also watching the chance for a few scattered showers into this morning and into parts of the afternoon. Then for the evening should be pretty quiet in the upper 70s to low 80s. And then another batch of some pretty heavy thunderstorms also could be a possibility into your Friday, with some strong to severe thunderstorms also a possibility. So we will keep you updated on that. And then the weekend going forward looks to be much cooler and drier with temperatures in the 50s and 60s.
Welcome back to Morning Y'all on CBS19 Plus. This is what's coming up in our second half hour. Authorities have made an arrest after a shocking case of animal neglect in Van Zandt County. Deputies discovered dogs suffering from severe neglect with some in critical condition. We'll have the full details coming up. In the diagnosis no family is prepared for. Up next, how a mother of 9 is facing the fight of her life and why she refuses to give up.
And we have a new high temperature record which was set yesterday in Tyler. 81 degrees was the high there, which beats our previous record of 79 set back in 1956. We will have another chance to break a record for today alongside some gusty winds and some showers. We'll talk more about it coming up in your forecast later this half hour.
Together, we're putting East Texas first. You're watching Morning Yo on CBS 19 Plus.
Well, good morning, y'all. Thanks for staying with us here on CBS 19 Plus. I'm Ayana Aird. One suspect remains on the run following a vehicle pursuit in Polk County. Deputies say the chase began Tuesday morning when a stolen vehicle from Harris County was spotted in the Onalaska area. When officers tried to stop the car, the driver took off. The vehicle was later found in abandoned in the Wells Landing area. 3 suspects have been identified. 2 have been arrested. Brandon Dunaway, who was shortly arrested after the incident, and Christopher Brick was arrested yesterday. Delray Tolar is still on the run as authorities continue searching for him. And authorities say a shocking case of animal neglect in Van Zandt County has ended with an arrest. Kenneth Adams was arrested earlier this week and is being held on a $25,000 bond. Now we warn you, some of the images you're about to see may be hard for some to watch. Deputies say in early December, 2 pit bull mixed type dogs were found dead, chained outside in freezing temperatures. Several other dogs inside the home showed signs of long-term starvation and dehydration. Investigators say 4 of the 5 surviving dogs showed prolonged signs of neglect, with 2 in critical condition and in need of immediate veterinary care. The jury will be back in the courtroom today in the trial of former Uvalde CISD police officer Adrian Gonzalez. The jury took a break yesterday as the defense requested a mistrial after only 1 day of testimony. Rebecca Lopez was in court and explained what happened.
Victims' families from the Robb Elementary School shooting lashed out at prosecutors after surprise testimony from a key witness nearly derailed this trial. Defense attorneys asked for a mistrial. The judge denied that, but did say that prosecutors were negligent in their actions. Families of the Robb Elementary School shooting victims left the courtroom relieved, but angry with prosecutors.
It caught us again by surprise, you know, and I mean, if there was the one word that I could say about their team, is incompetent.
Defense attorneys asked for a mistrial after a prosecution witness testified she saw the shooter before he entered Robb Elementary, something she'd never said before. Defense attorneys argued prosecutors failed to disclose that information, further frustrating families.
To get their act together, to work with the witnesses.
In court, the Uvalde County District Attorney acknowledged she had not reviewed the witnesses' Texas Ranger interviews or her own team's notes, missing discrepancies before trial.
I had not reviewed Stephanie Hale's interview with the Rangers at the time that she appeared for trial preparation.
Defense attorneys argued jurors had already heard testimony that could damage their case, which centers on the claim Gonzalez never saw the shooter. The new testimony placed both men in the same area.
We can't make them unhear what they heard.
After a hearing without the jury, the judge denied the mistrial but criticized prosecutors.
And I'll say for the record that I find, based upon what we heard yesterday, that this was not an intentional act. At best, it was a negligent act, or at worst.
The judge says he's now leaning towards striking the witness testimony after defense attorneys cross-examine her and expose inconsistencies to the jury. Families hope the case stays on track, while the defense attorneys say it may create reasonable doubt. In Corpus Christi, I'm Rebecca Lopez.
We are providing gavel-to-gavel trial coverage on CBS 19 Plus right now. Throughout the trial, reporters from across Texas and a panel of legal experts will walk us through the evidence presented in the case. We'll also be offering analysis you won't find anywhere else, so make sure to download CBS 19 Plus for free on your smart TV. It was an incredibly emotional day yesterday in Wascom as the community gathered to say a final goodbye to 2 young brothers killed in a December house fire. More than 100 people filled the gym to pay their respects to the family of Isaac and Hector Pedraza. The brothers died in a house fire on December 30th at their Noble Street home. Their father was injured while trying to save them. Both boys were students in Wascom ISD, and to support the grieving community, the district delayed the start of the second semester to today so students and staff could attend the service.
There's also something my aunt and uncle wanted me to share with you today, because this is how we want you guys to leave them here remembering. Please love your kids. Love them every single day, even on the hard days, especially on the hard days. Hug them, kiss them, hold them close, show them how much you love them. From the morning, the middle of the day, to the end of the night, hug them tight every day.
Flags are flying at half-staff at the school to honor the boys. A woman is dead after being shot by an ICE agent in Minneapolis. 37-year-old mother Renee Nicole Good was a U.S. citizen. Reed Binion reports.
Folks are angry. They are incredibly upset.
Officials in Minnesota addressing the fatal shooting of a woman in Minneapolis by an ICE agent Wednesday.
Renee Nicole Good should be alive.
Video from the scene shows officers approaching an SUV that is blocking the roadway. They tell the driver to exit the vehicle, but she does not. Then, after the gunshots, the vehicle crashes into a nearby parked car.
The agents on the scene were shouting, "No pulse, no pulse."
A witness said when a man who identified himself as a physician told the officers to let him administer emergency medical care, the agents said no.
Can I go check a pulse? No! Back up! Now! I'm a physician! I don't care! We have our own medics.
Where are they? Where are they?
It was very obvious to everyone who had witnessed it all that she would not make it.
Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem defended the agent's actions, saying he was following his training.
ICE agents repeatedly ordered her to get out of the car. She refused to obey their commands. She then proceeded to weaponize her vehicle, and she attempted to run a law enforcement officer over.
State and local officials, including the city's mayor, reject that.
The narrative that ICE is spinning immediately after this was that this was purely self-defense and that the act by the victim was some sort of domestic terrorism. That, and I'll say it again, is...
I'm Reed Binion reporting.
An East Texas mother is facing an unimaginable battle, one she never expected to begin the new year with. After being declared cancer-free in 2025, she's now learning her fight is far from over. In 2024, Allison Jinks was diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer. She underwent 2 surgeries and was declared cancer-free in February of 2025. She took a break from chemo, and on New Year's Eve, she received news that her cancer returned. The doctors told her she may have as little as 6 months to live. As a wife and mother of 9 children, her family is the reason she continues to fight.
But it was very emotional. Even for the doctor, like I could see it in his eyes, you know, and he's a caring doctor, but you could see the emotion, and it's just heavy. It's a very heavy feeling, especially when you have babies from all the ages from 17 all the way down to 2. Like, they're all in different stages of their lives, and you have to prepare them for something.
Her friends and the community stepped in to help. They've organized multiple fundraisers like softball and kickball tournaments to help support Allison's treatment. You can find those fundraisers on our website, CBS19.tv. Well, they call this the city that just won't stop expanding, and that's Dallas, Texas, and there might be one man more than any other who's helped the city do it. Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones, he met today with CBS Evening News anchor Tony DeCopel.
Well, good to be going with you today.
Hey, good to see you. If you're looking for Jerry Jones, just look for the star, the iconic symbol of the Dallas Cowboys, and also the boomtown of Dallas itself, which Jones says is spread out so far and wide, you can only really appreciate it from the air.
Our stadium is about 12 miles from Dallas.
After making his first million in the oil industry, he bought the team back in '89, at a time when Dallas, he says, was down and out. Those days are gone.
Dallas in every direction, just sprawling out.
Jones now sees Dallas as the ultimate mega city in the middle of America. And as we flew north to the suburb of Frisco, we spotted part of the reason why, the Cowboys' new headquarters.
He's at the 10, the 20, The 30.
Jones had his chopper touchdown near the end zone.
The football players are not the only athletes on the field, not the only stars on the field. And I'm thinking about the cheerleaders. What do they mean to the Cowboys?
They're wonderful young women that come from many walks of life.
Now, almost 30 years later, the cheerleaders are stars of their own reality series and recipients last year of a 400% raise. But Jones says
it never has been about the money. What it is about is the opportunity, if you will, to be a part of a team, to build on a legacy.
Tony DeCopel, CBS News.
Well, NBA legend Shaquille O'Neal has teamed up with Hershey on a new Hoops-themed candy, Shakalicious Slams, which features sweet gummy balls in watermelon, orange, and strawberry flavors with a sour mango ring or hoop. The candy is available now on Hershey's website and at retailers nationwide. What a name! Shakalicious.
Shakalicious. That's awesome.
Wow.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it looks good. It kind of looks like the Lifesavers candy.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, in a way. I wonder why Hershey's.
Yeah,
you know, because Hershey's is chocolate.
Yeah,
and
you would think it'd be like more chocolate, but
Yeah.
that is interesting.
Yeah,
I'd have it anyway.
Yeah, I wish we had some right here to try.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Some Shakalicious candy. Well, here's some cool history. A new study is suggesting humans used poison arrows thousands of years earlier than previously thought. A total of 10 arrowheads were unearthed in South Africa. They are believed to be about 60,000 years old. Traces of 2 different plant tonics were detected on 5 of them, making them the oldest known poison arrows. The study suggests hunter-gatherers likely dipped the arrowheads in poison before using them to hunt animals for food. The study says this shows hunter-gatherers had advanced cognitive abilities since it requires cause and effect thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Wow,
that's pretty
very
cool.
interesting.
It's pretty cool history, you know, just finding those arrowheads for
Yeah.
sure. And I remember I would find fossils in my yard.
Really?
Yeah, I would find like a little seashell fossilized into a little rock. I found that in my yard one time. So it's pretty cool to find those kind of like fossilized stuff,
Yeah.
you know?
Do you still have it with you? Like
It's-
in a treasure box or something?
It's somewhere. I didn't put it in a treasure box, although I probably
Yeah.
should.
Yeah,
but,
that might be cool. It might
yeah.
mean something later,
Yeah.
or maybe worth something later.
Maybe.
Well, it was a proposal straight out of a rom-com until the engagement ring went missing. Trevor Van Camp popped the question to Danielle Jenkins on a snowy bridge, but the ring slipped from his hand and tumbled 108 feet down a ski hill. After hours of searching, the ring was later found that night. Now the ring is safely with the bride-to-be, and the couple is ready to plan their wedding, turning a shaky start to happily ever, look at his face, happily ever after.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. No, when I proposed to my fiance, I did not want anything to happen to that thing. And so I definitely could probably relate to that pain. I think anybody could for sure. I mean, that's such an
Right.
expensive little thing, you know.
Exactly.
So small but so expensive. Yikes.
And then-
I'm so glad that they found that. 'Cause,
Exactly,
wow.
which is a miracle. And he planned, I actually saw this on social media last night. He planned this proposal for a year. So imagine
for that to happen.
For that to happen. That's crazy.
Right.
118 feet. And for it to be found is literally like a blessing, a
That's
miracle.
really
Like,
good. And, yeah, luckily they have insurance for that, but
Oh,
still,
yeah.
it's really good that they found that.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I can't imagine that. Like, wow, that's going to be a story to tell later on.
Oh, for sure. Wowee.
Yeah. All right. Well, today we do have a weather impact alert day
We
for
do.
today because of
Mhm.
the strong winds and what we might possibly be seeing later on this week.
Yeah, so we got some strong winds for today. That'll start to die down by the evening. But it's not going to be for all of us, but for some of us, we do have some wind advisories in effect, and they have already started at this point. At 7 o'clock, that'll start to continue to increase those winds we'll start to see those winds increase into the rest of this morning, and we'll start to see those winds begin to die down by around 4 o'clock this evening. Difficulty driving for sure. Loose objects easily blown around, especially if you're in a higher profile vehicle driving west to east or east to west. Certainly make sure to slow down as the winds will be coming in pretty strong from the south. Now, wind advisories again from 7 a.m. to 4 p.m. for Smith, Gregg, Upshur, Wood counties, and further to the north. Not all of us will be seeing the same amount of magnitude to really warrant any more wind advisories, but certainly everybody will have the chance to see some pretty gusty winds into this afternoon. We're also tracking CBS19 live radar this morning, starting to become just a little bit more active. Not anything too terribly heavy, but still some light rain that will make the roadways maybe a little bit slick in some parts of the area and reduce visibilities just a little bit. Current view at our Roberts cam, pretty gloomy out there. Winds now out of the south at about 10 to 15 miles per hour. We'll continue to see that increase through the rest of this morning. Temperatures across the area in the upper 60s to near 70. We'll see temperatures in the upper 70s for this afternoon, with winds continuing to blow from the south at around 15 to 20 miles per hour. We're going to be talking about the rain chances coming up in your full forecast, so stick around.
All right, thanks, Joel. When new federal guidelines could change how you eat, with a major change coming to the food pyramid, why it's flipped upside down and sparking debates. There's a new push to eat healthier in 2026. The Department of Health and Human Services rolled out new federal dietary guidelines. These recommendations will shape the types of food schools serve and what doctors recommend to patients and what can be purchased on food stamps. Our Ivan Rodriguez explains the changes.
Every 5 years, Health and Human Services and the U.S. Department of Agriculture update the federal dietary guidelines based on the latest research. The new guidelines echo past advice, but also include some nods to HHS Secretary Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s Make America Healthy Again movement, urging Americans to prioritize protein and healthy fats and limit their consumption of ultra-processed foods and added sugar.
The new guidelines recognize that whole, nutrient-dense food is the most effective path to better health and lower health care costs.
Officials say that following the guidance can help prevent the onset or slow the rate of progression of chronic disease, as well as lower health care costs.
30% of health care costs are directly attributable to obesity.
The latest update will include images of an inverted pyramid that puts meats and vegetables in the whitest part at the top, flipping a long-standing visual of the American diet and moving away from the circular My Plate.
Dietary guidelines shape dozens of federal feeding programs, including Head Start. These standards affect 45 million school lunches every day.
The new guidelines also tell Americans, when adding fats to meals, to, quote, prioritize oils with essential fatty acids such as olive oil. Other options can include butter or beef tallow. I'm Ivan Rodriguez reporting.
Life is full of lessons, some learned along the way. We often look back and wonder what we could have done differently, the choices we would change, or the risk we wish we have taken. Today, we ask people to reflect on their own journeys and share the wisdom they've gained over the years. So we want to know, what advice would you give your younger self? Let's go ahead and check out some of the Facebook comments. So Christopher Britton says, it may be hard, but stay on the right path. It's easy to get lost and can be difficult to get back to the path. Just stay true to yourself and be focused. You'll find a way back.
That's really good.
I love that. It's kind of like what you were saying a little bit earlier.
Right.
You know, just things might get hard, but just keep going and stay true to yourself.
Exactly. Yeah, don't expect you to be good at something right away. That's what practice is for. And so if you put the work in, you can get on that path, and don't lose hope either. Another thing I would say that I would probably, give it, another piece of advice I'd give myself is just to, stay strong, especially with my meteorology degree. It was very difficult. And a lot of college degrees are very difficult, but just don't lose hope, because there is, hope.
Light at the end of the tunnel.
There is light at the end of the tunnel. And now I'm graduated. I get to do what I love every day.
Wow,
So,
and look at you. And I would say the same thing. Keep going. It might get hard, but now we're doing what we love and always dreamed of doing. So Douglas says, save money. That's a big one.
Very good.
That's a good one. Save money. And Jimmy says, listen to your mother and grandmother.
That's good.
That's a good one. My mom would say the same thing.
There you go.
All right. Well, we do have a weather impact alert day for today. And Joel, there's high winds in the forecast and potential rain.
Yes, that is right. We're already starting to track some rain showers moving through the area, and the winds are starting to pick up just a little bit more. And we'll continue to watch the winds pick up even more into the rest of this morning and into this afternoon. Wind advisories are in effect for not all of us, but for some of us. Smith, Gregg, Upshur, Wood County. Further to the north, you've got the potential for the strongest wind gusts that do warrant those wind advisories to be in effect. Now, across the area, likely gusting between 25 and 30 miles per hour, but for those of us in those wind advisories, at least 30 mile per hour wind gusts, probably even close to 40, will be a good possibility into the later parts of this morning and into this afternoon, but by the evening, we'll start to see those winds kind of relax, and we'll see gusts between 15 and 20 miles per hour. So still pretty breezy, but not really that breezy enough to really cause too much of an impact into the rest of this evening. Now again, we're tracking some showers moving through the area that should be out of the picture by this afternoon and evening. Temperatures in the middle to upper 70s with kind of a mix of clouds and sun. And then for your Friday morning, temperatures will be starting off pretty warm in the 60s and near 70 for some parts of the area. And then we are going to be watching for a round of potentially some strong thunderstorms that could be pretty strong enough to be severe in some parts of the area. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, 1-inch diameter hail, and maybe 1 or 2 tornadoes could be a possibility with the storms alongside some heavy rainfall. A cold front associated with this line of storms will be moving through by the time we get to late Friday and into early Saturday. So temperatures will take a little bit of a tumble into the 40s and 50s to start your Saturday. We got the severe storm outlook here from the Storm Prediction Center. We got a 1 out of 5 risk for much of the area. The better chance it's going to be further to the east, but at least 1 or 2 locations within that area could potentially see some strong to severe thunderstorms. And very heavy rainfall, again, also going to be a good possibility with some isolated flash flooding. 1 to 2 inches of rain certainly not out of the question. And again, temperatures and conditions will cool down and will be much drier heading into the weekend and into next week.
All right, thanks, Joel. Well, we're about to step away for a moment while we break into our over-the-air broadcast with a news update. We'll be right back with more here on CBS 19 Plus. Good morning, y'all. Thank you for joining us for this news update. I'm Ayana Aird. Authorities say a shocking case of animal neglect in Van Zandt County has ended with an arrest. Kenneth Adams was arrested earlier this week and is being held on a $25,000 bond. Now, we warn you, some of the images you are about to see may be hard for some to watch. Deputies say in early December, 2 pit bull mixed type dogs were found dead, chained outside in freezing temperatures. Several other dogs inside the home showed signs of long-term starvation and dehydration. Investigators say 4 of the 5 surviving dogs showed prolonged signs of neglect, with 2 in critical condition and in need of immediate veterinary care. And the Texas Rangers are now investigating after a man accused of indecency with a child in Cass County is found dead just hours before his trial was set to begin. The Cass County District Attorney's Office says 44-year-old Christopher Glenn Smith of Naples died by suicide Tuesday night as law enforcement attempted to arrest him. Smith had been out on bond and wearing a GPS ankle monitor, but officials say he cut it off early Tuesday morning and fled. A warrant was issued after investigators determined he posed a danger to himself and the public. Multiple law enforcement agencies searched for Smith throughout the day. Authorities say as officers moved in near Cornett, Marietta area, Smith took his own life. And one East Texas family has faced unimaginable challenges since their 14-year-old daughter was diagnosed with a rare brain tumor more than a decade ago. Now they are rallying around community support as their daughter fights for her life. 14-year-old Alexis Neptune is in the ICU in Dallas after a serious medical emergency. Her father says she's fought a rare brain tumor since she was 3, and this latest crisis has put both her health and family business on hold. Neighbors, friends, and local businesses have stepped in, helping cover expenses so the family can focus on what matters most, staying by Lexi's side. An outpour of support from the community is now helping the Neptune family focus on staying together and hoping for healing. If you'd like to help Alexis Neptune and her family during this time, you can find ways to donate on our website, CBS19.tv. Now let's head out to our meteorologist with the weather.
Yeah, we are tracking some gusty winds into today. We got some wind advisories in effect for parts of East Texas from 7 a.m. this morning to 4 p.m. this afternoon. Smith County, Gregg County, Upshur County, Wood County, Camp County, and further to the north can expect some of the highest wind gusts between 35 and 40 miles per hour through today. We are also tracking the chance for a few showers into this morning and into parts of this afternoon. Should be nice and clear by the evening, though, with temperatures near record highs once again in the middle to upper 70s. And then we are again tracking the chance for maybe a few stronger thunderstorms into your day on Friday. So that is the next big thing that we're going to be watching for. We'll keep you updated as we continue into today. And then cooler temperatures and drier conditions expected for the days ahead.
Questions are growing after a federal immigration agent shot and killed a woman during a traffic stop in Minneapolis. Video shows ICE agents surrounding an SUV as the driver begins to pull away. Seconds later, shots are fired, killing 37-year-old Renee Good, a U.S. citizen. The Trump administration says the shooting was self-defense, while city leaders strongly disagree. The case is now under investigation as protests continue. In an update from the Robb Elementary shooting case, the victims' families are speaking out after surprise testimony nearly derailed the trial. Defense attorneys for Adrian Gonzalez asked for a mistrial, arguing prosecutors failed to disclose key information. The judge denied that request, but criticized prosecutors' actions as potentially negligent. If you've been putting off an old ticket or warrant in Longview, now's the time to act. The city's warrants amnesty program runs through April 30th, waiving fees and even offering a 20% discount for fines for those who pay in full. You can call the city clerk at 903-237-1186.
All right, one more look at your forecast. Now, the big story for today is going to be the wind. That's why you see that weather impact alert there. We are expecting wind gusts between 30 and 40 miles per hour for some of us. Not all of us will see it, but we do have wind advisories out for some parts of the area. All of us will at least have a chance to see some at least breezy conditions, but the highest wind gusts again exceeding likely 40 miles per hour at times. So we're going to continue to watch that through at least the early parts of this afternoon before we start to wind down this evening. And again, we're tracking the chance for a few scattered showers into the rest of this morning and into parts of the afternoon, and should become nice and clear for the evening with temperatures in the upper 70s. We'll drop down into the 60s once again for your Friday, and then we're watching for another batch of showers and thunderstorms that will be a little bit more intense with some heavy rainfall, gusty winds, some hail, maybe 1 or 2 tornadoes. We are going to continue to keep an eye on that, and I will be streaming a little bit later this morning, so stay tuned for that. Then behind that, temperatures will drop into the 50s and then back to the 60s for the midweek.
All right, a 5-year-old pit bull mix at an animal shelter in Las Vegas has earned the nickname Huggin' Dog for her unique way of showing affection. No, she doesn't want treats, she just wants hugs. Zara wraps her front legs around you and holds on, soaking up every pet she can get. Those puppy eyes and that wagging tail is hard to resist. Zara arrived at the Animal Foundation as a stray on Christmas Eve and has spent the holidays in the shelter. Staff say in 6 years they've never met a dog like her. This 5-year-old pit bull mix has unlimited love. Look at that, so cute. She just needs a forever home to share with.
Aww.
If I was in Las Vegas, I would pick her up.
Oh, yeah. You just hug her back.
I know, hug her back. Pick her up and hug her. She's so cute. See, I have the softest spot for dogs. If I can rescue every dog in the animal shelter, I would do that.
Oh, yeah.
So cute.
Every dog deserves a good home.
Exactly, especially a hugging dog.
Especially a hugging dog. Now, that's a very special case right there.
All right, well, what a great way to start your morning off with a little hugging dog video to brighten up your day. But thank you for joining us on CBS 19 Plus for Morning Y'all. You can catch the noon show coming up on CBS 19 Plus, and keep it here for the latest news and weather throughout the day. Have a good morning.